Hi there. This is Claudia again, the early childhood educator slash educational assistant for the school board. Today, we're going to talk about my favorite subject food, nutrition. All right, today we're going to actually be discussing problem foods, the foods that I see in a lot of the children's lunches um, when I'm at school. The issue is that I do realize that a lot of times nutrition ends up suffering because we have so many things to do. We have baseball practice, soccer practice, we have to go, so we end up preparing something really quick and be on the go. We have dance recitals, we have book clubs, we have, I don't know, there's just so many things that we have to do in our daily lives that lots of times food or proper nutrition ends up falling by the wayside. And the problem with that is that ultimately proper nutrition is the reason. Like, we need proper nutrition so that other things don't fall by the wayside. Like, even dealing with children with special needs, proper nutrition is not just, what's the word? It's not just something that we should do, it's something that's mandatory when it comes to dealing with children with special needs and nutrition. I believe they go hand in hand. And also with the typical children, also, they go hand in hand because a better nutrition means better brains, and better brains means a better future, a better adult of the future. It's all about, as I say all the time, it's all about not just from here down, it's about from here up too. And nutrition is valuable in that regard. So today, we're going to discuss the problem foods for children. And I got my trusty booklet here, of course. You know that I'm getting used to this whole podcast thing. So, with that, I have about maybe 12 of them, maybe 12 problem foods for children that we should actually consider as parents and as teachers in the classroom. We should actually consider making suggestions to some of our parents as to things that would help our young people thrive better. And one of those things, actually, one item number one is box juices. We need to get rid of box juices in our children's lunches. And I know it's convenient, and I know that lots of times we have to strive for convenience rather than for um, something that is just nutritionally valuable. But box juices are one of the worst things that we could actually put in our children's lunches because they actually, the sugar in them, it's like you're just giving them sugar. You might as well just take out the sugar bowl and take the spoon and give them sugar, because that's all that's in the box juices. But what you can do instead is that you can give them fruits. Give our children fruits instead of the box juices, because the liquid is in there and they're getting the liquid or the juice there. And in addition to that, you could also make your own juice and freeze them the night before. There are different methods of putting those juices in the juicer: the carrots, the watermelon, the even apple. You could also do that and maybe leave some of the fiber in the juice so that they're not just getting juice, they're getting juice and fiber too, like how they would eat the apple, right? And or water with some lime and cucumbers in there. Shake it up and put that in the with a little bit of ice in their thermos or their water bottle that you give them on a daily basis. That's such a better idea. With some lime and some cucumber, as I said, slice them up and put them in there, and they drink that throughout the day. Much better, and the water will have some nutrition in it too because of the cucumbers and the limes or whatever that you might put in there. Okay, fizzy drinks, avoid fizzy drinks at all costs, because fizzy drinks actually have a link to obesity, and it also is linked to aggressive behavior. And though that aggressive behavior over time will affect the child as they grow. Okay, so that's also very important. Box mac and cheese. I know it's convenient. I know. But it's really not the best decision to make. Buying whole wheat pasta or buying spelt pasta and making the macaroni and cheese from scratch is even a better idea. I don't really deal with cheeses myself, but there's different ways that you can make the cheese if you decided to do it the vegan way. Like you could make the cheese out of nuts, different types of nuts. Almonds can make cheese, cashews can make cheese. And if you're not into that and you're really into the milk and you're into the real cheeses, it's still better than what is in the mac and cheese. So avoiding the mac and cheese would be a smart idea, because it's over processed and it makes them crave more salty and artificial foods, right? So we want to try and avoid stuff like that. Um, yeah, so avoid the mac and cheese if you can, right? And avoiding mac and cheese also helps the child to understand, like, making the food from scratch. When you make the food from scratch, it's better for everybody. For everybody, for you, and for the child. For the child, mainly because they're learning how to be more connected to their food, and also for you because at the end of the day, as the parent, you feel more like you're giving your child something, some substance, and you're giving them a lesson in preparing the meals together. Okay. Fruit snacks. Those fruit snacks are those gummy bears that say that they've got real fruit juice. Still baloney. Not a good idea. Okay. Um, you can make your own dehydrated fruits. Buy a dehydrator. It's actually, although it might be expensive at the beginning, but you can get a cheap one too. There's lots of cheap dehydrators on Amazon. If you're not a professional or anything, like doing dehydrating foods that are like, I don't know, thousands of pounds of dehydrated fruit. You can get a dehydrator for like $50 on Amazon, a pretty good one, and dehydrate the food. Allow your children to help you do it, and in them helping you do it, then you and they can have very healthy snacks, right? Um, Things like dried fruits, things like dates, things like apricots. You don't even have to do those in the dehydrator. You can actually buy those instead and use those as substitutes for snacks instead, right? Sports drinks. Forget the sports drinks. Total sugar. Total sugar. Better water with cucumbers, with some lime in there. Shake it up, drink that. Very refreshing. And if we start our children off on things like that, then they won't end up craving the other nonsense. And we say, oh, they won't eat anything else. But many times than not, if you supply that, they'll have to live with that. That's the truth. Because you're the boss, right? Okay. Frozen chicken nuggets. I know that lots of children actually seem to enjoy a lot of that, but the chicken nuggets are actually so bad because they're over ultra processed things, and they're considered ultra processed. And if you can make something similar to that on your own, it would be a much better idea. If you're gonna have the meat, then have the best quality, or the best quality meats, right? Farm uh, grass fed animals would be so much better, and ethically sourced chicken would be a better idea, right? And the dipping sauces, you can make those. They're so easy to make. You Google YouTube University, check it out. You can make dipping sauces with mangoes, real mangoes. The soft part of the jelly coconut, like when you have the green coconut, and you chop that off and you chop down the middle, scrape out the insides, and you could use that to make to put in the blender, and with some salt, with some pepper, with some lemon or lime, and you've got yourself a beautiful dipping sauce that you can use. But YouTube University, make a dipping sauce from scratch. They're simple, and beautiful flavors you can make with that. Okay, I'm at 10 minutes already. Oh no. All right. The next one, breakfast cereals. Avoid breakfast cereals at all costs because it completely processed. Whatever it is, it's processed. So avoid those. If you can use your own like almond milk and make like a porridge, if you want to make porridge from scratch, like with oats, those are still better than you having the cereal in the box. That cereal in the box is not the best way to start the day. The best way actually to start the day, if you don't have time, fruits. Fruits is a beautiful way to start the day. You don't have to start the day with the box cereals because all that does is give them a high and then they crash. By 11 o'clock, yes, they have snacks and stuff like that at school, but it's so much smarter to give them the fruits than those boxed cereals. Boxed cereals filled with sugar, and the sugar is only temporary, right? And what we're doing when we give them so much sugar at the beginning of their lives, as they get older, they get so addicted to it that certain other things start to happen. They end up getting things like susceptible to heart disease and things like that. And we want to start our children off right. That's the issue here. We want to give them a good head start with healthy things that'll affect a positive brain, positive body. All right, the next thing, processed meats, those sandwich meats and the hot dogs. Unfortunately, they are linked to cancer. They're filled with nitrates, which is like a poison. Um, and it also um, is linked to heart disease, as I said before. So those things are not recommended. Fruits and vegetables, whole wheat grains, spelt grains. I know that a lot of the cultures in the area that I live, they make a lot of rotis. The rotis are beautiful. It's a good idea, the rotis. But you can wrap the rotis up with green leafy greens like lettuce, tomatoes, things like that to add to make it more bulky. And the more fruits and vegetables we have in our diet is the healthier the brain at the end. That's what I always say. But yeah, using like things like spelt flour to make the roti shell is a beautiful thing too. You know, that'll help to make the roti a lot easier to digest rather than clogging up the colon. Okay. Lunchables, the packed lunches like that have the sandwich, or no, not the sandwich, the packed lunches that have the deli meat and have the crackers and they have the dessert and then you have the sweet drinks afterwards. Those packed lunches, again, not a good idea. They're high in sodium and unhealthy fats, and the carbohydrates in that are like the worst idea ever, honestly. So, if we can avoid those things and make the lunches from scratch, knowing and understanding that the time is of the essence when you got to get up and rush off to work and all this stuff, but even preparing the night before usually would help to make things easier because at the end of the day we're rushing and we're doing all kinds of things, but ultimately, without a healthy body, we don't have a healthy child. And even as adults, without a healthy body, we start to have all different types of issues. So the issue is try our best to prepare. When it comes to healthy eating, it definitely revolves around preparing certain things ahead of time so that it's easier when you're actually ready for it. And of course, we know hard sweets. Sweets, We consider it a treat. But at the end of the day, it's actually a poison. I'm sorry, guys. It just is. Even if, like, I know that when we're young, we say, oh, we got to give the children the opportunity to enjoy their childhood with a little bit of sweets here and there and this and that. But I think it's better for us to try our best to give our children a beautiful head start by not exposing them to all that amount of sweets and making it look as if, oh, it's just a treat. It's not a big deal. It could be a big deal. There's other ways to give treats, like dates, like apricots, completely sweet stuff. Nuts, very good for the body. We can give that a try too, right? Give it a try and see how it works. And if you're just starting out, if you're reaching this video when you got a baby in the tummy, those are things that you should really try and think about, because at the end of the day, when you give them a head start, they'll be happier for it at a later date, you know? They'll be happy that you started them off that way rather than them having to wean themselves off of the junk later, right? Okay, so I am at 16 minutes, right? And counting. And I believe that that's enough. Those are enough points for right now. So with that, I say I hope this video helped you, and if it did help you, please subscribe, share with other people so they can see how valuable this information is. And there might be things in there you can take or things you might want to leave out, but one way or the other, I appreciate you being here. So with that, I say peace and blessings. Bye.